My character is Jonathan Black, a young member of a criminal organization who goes from a bouncer to a hitman throughout the 1920s and 1930s. I chose this character because it was one of the options given to us for the project, but it still allowed me to have enough freedom to create an original storyline. The storyline was chosen to show the 1920s as a happy decade full of prosperous events and the 1930s as a darker decade. The props reflect this with props that are related to things that would be going on in the main character's life throughout the different time frames. I was challenged with finding the correct prompts to use for each individual event around the time frame. I overcame these by thinking of creative ways to have a character go through problems while it was either a good time or problems that would fit into a bad time that were available from the 650 that we had to choose from. The thing I enjoyed about this project was creating a character who was completely original, who went through events that were historically accurate and were relatable to many people of the decade. I will be reading the journal prompt from January 3rd of 1936. It is said that the saddest, most depressing day of the year is in this month. Perhaps the darkest day is today. I have essentially had what an alcoholic would call a relapse. I ran into my former employer, and I must admit, I took that offer and ran with it. Being a hitman is not the hardest thing I've ever done, and most definitely not the most rewarding either, but it does pay a lot more than construction ever will. I have seen the end of more people in the last 2 weeks than one probably needs to see in 2 lifetimes. I have willfully given into the temptation that this life afforded once, and now I return to it as a supposed way out of my sorrows. My fate was not that bad, but my mind told me that the grass was greener on the other side, and now I have the faces of those that I slaughtered as if life was meaningless. Maybe it is now. We are in what we call a Great Depression, so I could always view this as an easing to their sorrows. The ethical situation I find myself in would never have happened if I had no dreams of making it big when I was younger. But the past is in the past, and I will deal with the consequences. One life down just means that there is one more paycheck in my pocket. Sure, it will eventually haunt me till the day I die. What I have come to do in the name of thriving while others survive. But if I am the only human alive who knows what I do besides my employer, who can stop me? My ethics and morals are compromised. My pockets are nearly empty. My stomach is filled with hunger. And I have almost nothing left to give, so why shouldn't I make a living doing something that I'm good at? My conscience can catch up to me when I have to stop to figure out what to do with all the money I have made. But until then, the public should be warned who they mess with. May the partnership and connections that I have made recently make a lifetime of prosperity, because the only way out of this depression is to seize what others are too timid to take. I don't know if my connections to the police department are still valid with my current line of work. I have no intention of finding out anytime soon, and so I trust myself to watch my own back and no one else.